This is my first video on the fundamentals of geometry, so I will try to make it as much interactive as possible. In this video, we will not rely on any formulas to solve problems. Instead, we will rely on our intuition and understanding. And even in the future, try to make sense of a problem before applying a theorem or a formula to solve the problem. So let's begin. The first few minutes will be a bit boring because I'm going to start with some terminology so that it is easier for me to explain some of the topics in this video as well as my future videos. You can skip this part if you already know the meaning of these terms. Look at this. We call it a point. The point shown here is not exactly a point, but it is a sphere with a very small radius. A point is just a dot. Now this is a line. A line is anything which connects two points which is straight, infinite in length and not curved. On a piece of paper we represent it in the following manner. This line passes through point A and point B. Note that the line here has two arrows pointing away from each other. This shows that it is going forever in both directions. Next is a line segment, which is a part of a line. So this thing is straight and can have any finite length. We represent it as the following. Note that we don't put the arrows as we did for a line. Next is a ray, which is similar to a line but goes forever in only one direction. We represent it in the following manner. Now, look at these lines. These lines meet or intersect at some point. We call them intersecting lines, and this point where the lines intersect is called the intersecting point. If there are lines or line segments which are pointing along the same direction, then they will never meet at a point, no matter how much you extend these two lines or line segments. We call them parallel lines. Here we have two images. Both of them have two rays with a common starting or ending point, but there is a difference in both the images. We see that the rays in image 1 are opened less, but the rays in image 2 are opened more. The measure of how much the rays are pointing away from each other is called the angle. An angle is measured in degrees or radians. The point which is common in both the rays is called the vertex of the angle, and the rays are called the arms of the angle. While representing an angle, we write it in the following manner. Note that the name of the vertex is always written in the middle. So these two statements refer to different angles, which are the following. This is a plane. I think the video itself describes a plane. So I will just say that it is infinite in size and it's flat. This is a polygon, where poly means many and gon means sides. So you might have guessed that what it is from the name itself. Some of them are shown here. Those who are new to these concepts should try to understand all these terms before moving forward. Now, let's start by defining what is perimeter. Perimeter is basically the sum of the length of all the sides of a polygon. I think this animation should give you a rough idea about perimeter. Okay, now the screen will show you a few questions. Pause the video and try to answer all the questions. You just need to use your understanding and the things I said about perimeter. So basically, we just add the length of all the sides of a polygon to get the perimeter of the polygon. Now, we will look at a few questions with something out of the box, and it is not just finding the perimeter of a polygon. Here is a city where all the buildings are circular in shape, and the roads are the shape of arcs. Now, let's say that our friend moves from point A to point B. The path he took is highlighted in red. The perimeter of every circle in this image is 1 kilometer. So how much distance did our friend cover while going from point A to point B? Pause the video now to figure it out yourself. Okay, the solution is as follows. Since the circumference of all these circles is equal to 1 kilometer, the distance covered can be calculated in terms of the perimeter of each circle. So the distance covered by our friend is as follows. Here are a few hexagons. The measure of the perimeter of each of the hexagons is 12 centimeters. What is the perimeter of this whole thing? Pause the video now to figure it out yourself. Here's the solution. Here is a tough one if you won't use your intuition and imagination. Find the perimeter of this yellow shape. Note that the measure of the sides are for the square and not for the yellow shape. Here is the solution. What I will do is project the sides of this polygon on the square like this. So we have somehow proved that the perimeter of this yellow polygon is equal to the perimeter of this square. So the perimeter of this yellow polygon is as follows. But how will you calculate the perimeter of a circle? We will discuss it in the next episode of this series. We will also discuss and explore areas of polygons in the next episode. Thank you.